morning and welcome to Stitched Up Weekly episode 29. So I'm back from holiday. I hope you're all well. Yeah, I thought I would do another weekly vlog this week because I'm not at work this week. Yeah, I finished work a couple of weeks ago, finished my old job. So I'm now in between jobs, which is quite a nice place to be actually. And yeah, we came back from holiday on Friday and had a really lovely week. It was slightly yeah, it was slightly tainted by the fact that we had a car crash on the way home. Yeah, we had to do an emergency stop on the M5 because a van pulled out in front of us and a van went into the back of us basically. So it stove the back of Martin's new car in, which he's obviously really distraught about, but we're all okay. That's the main thing, you know, we're all fine. The car took the brunt of the damage and we weren't damaged, and cars can be repaired, so it's absolutely fine. So that's yeah, so we've both got the week off this week, and Martin's currently trying to get that sorted out with the insurance. The insurance have been really good. They're dropping us off a replacement like-for-like vehicle today because it's a no-fault accident of ours, because obviously the van that was behind us was too close. So but it's just another added stress that you don't need, isn't it? But these things happen, so that's okay. So so he's on with that at the minute. I am dressed in my scruffs at the moment and hair is looking a mess, but that is because I'm going to be getting on with some gardening shortly. Because our garden is like a jungle, and with all the work that I've been doing the last few months, I've just not had any time to devote to it at all. So it really needs sorting out now. Autumn's here. So we're both getting on with some bit of gardening today. Bronte's home. She came home with us. She didn't want to go back to Leicester. She wanted to come home with us because she's not back at work till Friday, I think she said. So she's home with us, but she's still in bed at the minute. Isaac has started back at college today, so that was really strange because obviously he's been off for months. So he was up early this morning and away, and I am starting on my Kelly Anorak. So I think I might have mentioned this before I went on holiday, that I originally had planned to take part in Anorak August, but because of the holiday and other bits and pieces I needed to get finished for my holiday, I never got round to it. So that's the plan for early September. I am going to film a makes and plans vlog at some point this week, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to film the making of my Kelly because it's a big project, and I know a few other people have done this as well, but I think it's always really interesting to see how different people tackle a project like this. So it's a project that I've never tackled of this kind of size before, so it's a new experience for me, and I thought that you'd be interested in coming along with me and seeing how I create this anorak, and fingers crossed it works out okay. The other thing we're going to be doing as well is, when we're talking about home renovations, is we're going to be working on the living room as well. I mean, this is our little living room, which is quite small, but it's cosy. That's the thing when you have like a cottage. Yeah, I love it. I love this living room. It's really calming, really peaceful, but it doesn't get a lot of sun because the back of our this is at the front of the house. The back of our house is south facing, so the front is north facing. So it doesn't get a lot of sunlight. So we need to keep it light and airy, but we need new sofas basically. These sofas are about 10 years old now. One of them is broken underneath. So we need new sofas. It needs decorating. And so the next option is, well, the next plan is going to be working on this because I'd like to get this done before Christmas as well. So yeah, so lots to do in the house. Holiday wise, I'm sure you're interested in how it went. I mean, obviously I did put up my Cornwall vlog a couple of nights ago. It's probably a week ago actually by the time you're watching this. And but obviously that was just sort of a bit of a snapshot of where we were and what we got up to while we were away. We had a really lovely week. We had great weather. The weather was very kind to us, which was lovely. We only had one day of rain, which was Thursday morning, but it didn't stop us from doing anything. As I'm sure if you've watched my Cornwall vlog, you will see that we did go to Truro Fabrics, that me and Bronte did. And I did buy some fabric, so I will show you that at some point during this vlog. I only bought a couple of pieces. Truro Fabrics was lovely. The staff were really nice, and they did have a lot of choice. I found it, I wouldn't say expensive, but it's just average prices, I guess. I'm used to, obviously, up here in Yorkshire, where we've got Waltons and Fabworks and all those lovely places like Lucky Fashions as well, that they do, you know, great fabrics at bargain prices. So I'm really used to that. And Truro is fabrics that are just normal prices. I don't think I found anything that was below £8 a metre. They didn't have anything with any offers on at all, but you know, that's fine. I appreciate that, you know, lots of businesses can't afford to do that, and that's just how it is, and that's absolutely fine. So I bought a couple of pieces, which I will show you at some point this week. And we also went to Trago Mills as well. I know a couple of people had mentioned Trago Mills. So we had a ride. That was when we went Thursday morning. And if I'm perfectly honest, I found it, I don't know, it's a place where they do all sorts. You know, there's gardening stuff, homeware stuff, camping, there's loads and loads. And they've got a fabric and haberdashery department. I wasn't really taken with any of the fabrics that they had when I was there. A lot of the shelves seemed a bit messy and a bit bare, and a lot of it was very sort of polyestery and more towards the craft side of the market, I would say, than dressmaking. There wasn't a single dressmaking fabric that caught my eye. The prices were really reasonable. I can't complain about that. But yeah, it wasn't, I mean, I'm not sure if at any other time that, you know, I think it might be one of those places that you have to hit at the right time, I think. But certainly when I went, there was nothing that took my eye at all. So from my experience, I wouldn't make a special trip just to go and have a look at the fabrics. If you're just interested in wanting to go fabric shopping, I wouldn't make a special effort to go to Trago Mills, because I think, well, yeah, I would, if I'd have made a special effort just for that, I would have been really disappointed. So yeah, so that was that. St Ives. Now I know that I filmed a little bit in St Ives while we were on holiday, and a few people commented about the social distancing and how busy it was. I've been going to St Ives since I was a little girl, and it has changed enormously over the years, and it's become very trendy, whereas when I first started going when I was little, it was very much a fisherman's village, a very old Cornish little fishing village with a few artists there, but it wasn't the hip and trendy place that it has turned into now. And because of that, obviously, people flock there. And it's, yeah, I mean, we went down to Cornwall on the Friday of the bank holiday weekend, and I absolutely did not want to go over the weekend, and we left it till Wednesday, hoping that because the children in the UK were heading back to school, it would be a little bit quieter. And I think it was quieter. I mean, obviously that probably hasn't come across so much on the vlog, but believe me, from how St Ives can be, it was certainly quieter than it is when it's really busy. But yeah, social distancing was an issue, a real issue, you know, because the streets were packed. And all the shops were following the guidelines. You know, you had to wear masks in shops, and they would only allow 2 or 3 people in at once, dependent on the size of the shop. But in the streets, there was, you know, there's signs up about staying 2 meters apart, but there's certainly nobody there trying to control pedestrian traffic, which I think the Cornwall Tourist Board should have been trying to, I don't know how they could do that, I guess, but I think in these honeypot areas there should be, if they're wanting people to follow the guidance, they should be controlling numbers that are attending these places. So anyway, that's my thoughts on that one. Obviously, as you saw in the vlog as well, I met up with the lovely Andrea. Andrea lives in Cornwall. She's actually from the north near us, but she moved down there with her husband and her children 5 years ago, and I only met Andrea through the sewing community. She came to the meetup in the Goldhawk Road in London back in January this year, and that's where I met her. And yeah, it was one of those things that when she told me where she lived, and I was like, oh, we're coming to Cornwall this year, and so we arranged if we could possibly try and organise a little meetup, and it was lovely to go and meet her and spend some time with her. And yeah, we had a really, really, really good time, so that was lovely. It's a shame we live so far apart, but you know, that's the beauty of social media these days, isn't it? For all its faults, we can connect with people and, you know, develop friendships all over, so that's really lovely. So it was lovely to meet her again, and we're hoping to meet up later this month actually, because I think she's coming up to see some family, so I think we're planning a little Waltons trip again, so that will be exciting. Right, I'm just thinking about how pale I look today. I think it's the lighting, honestly. I did get some colour while I was down in Cornwall. Right, I'm going to get on with getting this Kelly printed out, traced out. It's just started raining, so I hope that holds off, because I don't fancy gardening in the rain, but we shall see. So let's get this traced out. So happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, isn't it?
Tuesday.
We've come to the beach. Aside from just having a week in Cornwall, we can't seem to stay away from the beach. So it's quite a nice day actually. So we came to this beach a few weeks ago. It's only about an hour from where we live, which is really nice, just on the east coast. And Bronte's never been, so we decided that we would have a little ride out, didn't we?
Yes.
So it's a gorgeous day. Fairly pleasant. The last time we came here a few weeks ago it was really windy, but it's not today. It's quite nice. So just a gentle breeze, but it's really warm. So I'm going to turn you round and give you a quick panorama. You want to say hello, Martin?
Hello, Martin.
So we're on a beach that is fairly close to Bridlington. So Bridlington is literally just over there, and yeah, it's really lovely.
Further round.
Yeah. Boop. Scarborough is further round.
Woof, woof, woof.
Good morning, happy Thursday. So today I am on my way to meet my new manager and team that I am going to be working with from next week. Yeah, it's Thursday. Beautiful, beautiful morning. Bit of a crisp chill in the air though, so it's definitely feeling a little bit autumnal. Yeah, so I'm going to meet my new team, start my new job on Monday. I'm quite nervous because I've not met any of these people yet. I'm also a little bit nervous about the journey. I'm heading to what's going to be my base, and I've just left home, and obviously I'm nervous about this commute. It's the one thing that has been on my mind with respect to taking this job on, so we'll see how it goes anyway. But yeah, I'm going to meet the new team, and yeah, because I had my interview over Skype, so I've not actually been before or met anybody, and yes, I'm quite nervous actually. It's going to be strange, but anyway. And then I've got a meeting with my new manager for an hour, and then I'm going to be meeting up with my old manager who I've not seen for 2 years for lunch at 1 o'clock, so that's going to be really nice. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I've done my hair this morning. I've curled it. Well, I've blow dried it curly, so yeah, so I quite like it like this actually. It looks quite nice. So yeah, what have I done this week? Well, I had a bit of a nightmare with cutting out the Kelly pattern the other night out of the lining. So the lining pattern layout isn't correct. Basically, there's a couple of pattern pieces that suggest you cut them out of the lining, but it's not on the pattern layout, so that was a little bit confusing. I think I mentioned that I'd ended up speaking to Judy about it because she's just made the Kelly but she didn't make the lining, and then I ended up FaceTiming Sian as well just to get some advice from her. So yeah, so it's taken some thought, I'll be honest. So, but I haven't got any further with it. Yesterday I went out for the day to Harrogate with one of my dear friends who lives a few doors away, who's been going through a bit of an emotional time. She was one of our neighbours that was flooded back in February, and her house is still a shell. They've just had the electrics all redone, and it's plasterboarded out, but it needs plastering, and she's still, you know, it's still very much a shell, and I think she's tearing her hair out of it really, but she's got some other stuff going on as well. So she's been going through a really tough time. So we spent the day in Harrogate together and had lunch, did some shopping, which was really lovely. It was so nice because we've not had the opportunity to do that for a long time. And we also found a fabric shop. We found the Remnant House, which I didn't do any filming purely because, as I say, my friend is going through a really tough time and it wouldn't have been appropriate really. So I didn't get the opportunity to film, but I did get a couple of fabrics from the Remnant House, which I will promise you I'll show you later on in this vlog, alongside the Truro fabrics that I bought last week as well. What else can I tell you? Some pretty bad news last night. I think, you know, obviously we've all been talking about the KB sewing retreat that was due to go ahead next month. It's now been postponed again. I'm absolutely gutted for Sian, because I know that obviously she's put a lot of work into this, as she did back in May for the one that had to be postponed from May, and now it's had to be postponed again because, for those of you that don't live in the UK, our government announced yesterday morning that we are no longer allowed to socialise in groups of more than 6, except for exceptional circumstances. There are some exemptions, but unfortunately a sewing retreat doesn't fit any of those exemptions. So because of that, I think our group was going to be about 10, 12, something like that. It means that it can't go ahead now, which is really, really disappointing. But that's world we're living in at the minute, isn't it? So yeah, so I'm not sure what we are planning to do yet. I am looking into, I mean, me and Martin have got the time off work, but you know, that was already booked now, so I'm looking at whether it's still feasible that, because Martin was coming down to the Isle of Wight with me, I'm looking if it's still feasible, if the two of us can still go and, you know, have a few days away on the Isle of Wight anyway, because I want him to see the island, and I want to see the island because I've not seen much of the island, obviously, with only going down there for the retreat. So I'm looking at that to see if that's something that we can do and still have a little break, which will be nice. So anyway, right, I am going to love you and leave you while I go meet with my boss, my new boss, and I will catch up with you later. Good morning. Happy Friday. I'm sewing, which is amazing. Yes, it's about 10 o'clock. I had the most rude awakening this morning at 4:30 when Pluto came into our bedroom through the bedroom window, which overlooks the conservatory. And I'd shut the bedroom window when I went to bed last night, and then Martin came to bed after me and opened it again because he was too warm. And Pluto came in at 4 o'clock this morning, jumped onto the conservatory roof, up in through our bedroom window, meowing like mad, and I just knew it. I knew straight away. I thought he's got a vole. So we switched the lights on, and yes, there he was with a vole. It was dead. So yeah, that was a bit of a nightmare, and I couldn't get back to sleep basically after that. So I am feeling really tired today, but I'm determined to make a start on the Kelly, and I'm really pleased with what I've got done so far. I have done the back pleated yoke bit, which is just there, and I have just sewn on the yokes to the front pieces, and I'm just about to flat fell the seam on the other side. So that's where I'm at the minute, which is great. So my plan today is to get some sewing done, and then this afternoon, later on this afternoon, I am meeting up with Judy for a run. We're going for a run, and then I think she's going to show me her sewing room, so I might have to film that and show you, because I've only seen the pictures of it online. It looks amazing. Yeah, so, and I'm having tea at Judy's tonight, which is really nice. I joined Slimming World last night, which I am super pleased about, because I really need to lose some weight. I know that I've been doing it a little bit, obviously, before I went on holiday. I'm actually quite pleased, because when I got weighed last night at Slimming World, and bearing in mind that I was fully clothed with shoes on and a full bladder as well, because you can't use the toilets at the minute because of the pandemic, I actually didn't weigh as much as what I thought I would. So I think taking all of those extra bits and pieces into account, and you know, normally obviously I get weighed first thing in the morning if I'm going to weigh myself, and I think I've probably only gained a couple of pounds on holiday, and I thought I'd probably put about a stone on, to be honest. So that was just not accurate at all. So so that's really good. So that means that yeah, that's made me feel a bit more focused. But I decided after my holiday that I really wanted to get back on it properly and get running properly, etc. So yeah, I really want to get lose some weight for the winter. Yeah, anyway, that's that. So I joined Slimming World last night. I haven't been a member of Slimming World for a long time. I used to be a Slimming World consultant, actually, in years gone by when my son was tiny. I did that for 2-3 years, and I really enjoyed it, actually. And then since then I have just sort of managed to do it myself at home, and I've always stuck to that kind of eating plan because it really works for me. But I know that the plan has changed a lot over the years, and I just really felt I needed that kickstart, and to be able to sort of go back and learn the plan now as it is now, without my sort of tweaks to it, if that makes sense, to give me a bit of a kickstart. So I've joined last night, and yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it. Martin's going to do it with me. I made him get on the scales this morning, and he was a bit horrified, to be honest. He's the heaviest he's ever been, which is not good. So yeah, he's going to do it with me from home, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So I'm going to Judy's for a run later, and I think Judy's doing Slimming World as well, so she's going to cook tea for me, so we're going to have a Slimming World meal, which will be really nice. So my plan is until then to make a real good start on the Kelly, and we'll see how we get on with it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to a nice relaxing day. It was a really busy day yesterday. I was out and about all over with meeting up with my new manager at work, and she's lovely. And yeah, it looks like I'm going to be doing a lot from home to start with, because it's a complete new service that I need to build from scratch. The rest of my new team aren't going to be starting while December, so I've got a good sort of 2-3 months to start shaping the service as how it's going to be, etc. So I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, a lot of it's going to be working from home. I am only going to be doing 4 days. I'm going to have every Friday off as well, and I'm not going to be working weekends, at least for the foreseeable. So that's really nice. That means I've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday off every week. So yeah, so that was really good, and I met up with my old manager for lunch, and I've not seen her for 2 years, and that was so nice. She was my previous manager at the prison, and she's left the prison now as well. She left a year ago, and it was lovely to meet up with her and have lunch. And I also went to Fabworks because I had an hour to kill in between the two, and yeah, Fabworks was only 15 minutes away, so I really could not let that pass, could I? But I have filmed a separate fabric haul, and I'm hoping that might already have been up. It depends how much I've just filmed it this morning and realised that I had my shirt on inside out during the entire thing. Didn't realise until afterwards. I went downstairs and Martin said to me, "Your shirt's on inside out," and I was like, oh. So I was initially thinking, I'm not going to put that vlog up, I'm going to leave it and redo it. But then I thought, oh, do you know what, I'm just going to put it up, and nobody will notice, will they? And if they do notice, whatever, it's fine. So yeah, so there's that. So anyway, I'm hoping that I will get that vlog edited. Maybe not today because I really want to crack on with this, but I might get that edited tomorrow and get that up, and then the weekly vlog will probably go up Monday or Tuesday, maybe, we'll see. So anyway, right, I'm going to crack on and get some sewing done. Good morning and happy Saturday. So today I am hopefully going to be doing a little bit more on the Kelly. Really pleased with how much I got done yesterday, so I will show you where I'm at. Obviously you knew that I was stuck once I'd done the pockets because I need to install the press studs and I don't have the right die for my die machine. I've ordered that now. I'm really keeping my fingers crossed that it's going to come today. Got a bit of a shadow there, but I don't think it will. I think it'll probably be Monday. But the pockets are ready, and I thought, well, I'll just carry on and keep going and get whatever else I can get done. So I have attached the fronts to the back bodice piece. I've constructed all the lining. The hood is complete as well, and I've also done the casing for the drawstring cord. And anything else? Let me think. The sleeves are done as well. So I'll turn you around and show you where I've got, but I've also, what I've got to do next is cut out the interlining as well from the shell bodice pieces and the sleeve pieces as well. So I'm going to get that done later today, but let me show you where I'm up to. Okay, so here is the hood, totally complete with proper flat felled seams. You do have the option of doing faux ones, but I did full ones, so it's completely flat felled. And then the lining obviously is inside there. The interlining is in there, which is that lovely brushed cotton that I got from Walton's, and I'm really pleased with that because it just gives it a nice weight to it and a nice thickness that's not too thick, but it's going to be nice and warm for the autumn. The sleeves are here, so these are just the outer shell sleeves again that are flat felled here. I've got the casing done, which is there, and the two pocket pieces are there that are all marked up, ready for installation of the snaps when my die comes. The placket pieces are still there. They've got to be attached. I can get that attached to the main coat, but if I take you through to the conservatory where my mannequin is, excuse the mess.
Morning.
Hello. yeah, so this is the main shell here, which, as I say, the front is attached to the back at the shoulders, and that is all encased in the yoke. I haven't obviously attached the side seams yet because I need to get the pockets placed on here in the right place once I have the press studs attached. If I just turn the mannequin round, that's the lining there. You will see that it's got that lovely pleat detail in the back, and the lining is all constructed there. So we've got this gorgeous, gorgeous lining that has the facing attached. It's got a lovely pleat in the back, which obviously gives you a little bit more room. Sleeves are in, 2-part sleeves are attached there. Yeah, so the lining is ready. So what I need to do next obviously is construct the interlining, which I'm going to do from the outer shell pieces. Get that done today. Get the plackets on this. I think I can probably get those done even though it's not sewn at the side seams. So yeah, so obviously I'm constructing it in a completely different way to the pattern instructions, but that's fine. We all figure it out for ourselves, don't we? So right, so that's the plan for later today, but first we need to go and do some shopping, which was why you saw Martin there just putting his shoes on. Yeah, we've got the dreaded food shop to do again, so we're going to get off and do that so that I can get back and get some more sewing done. So we'll catch up later. Right, back from shopping, and the dye has come from the trimming shop for my green press machine. I am so impressed because I only ordered that yesterday afternoon and it's arrived this morning, which is amazing. So after a little bit of finagling and figuring out how to use the 4-part die set and the 4-part press studs, I have managed to create some press studded pockets for my Kelly. So there we go. I did practice on an offcut first, and I would highly recommend you do that if you've never done it before. So yeah, so that's cool. So I can now get these pockets stitched onto the front of the Kelly, and then I can get the side seams done, and then I'm going to be on my way, aren't I? So that's really good. Also had another delivery this morning of all my bag hardware and oops, oh, where we go. Yeah, there we are. All my bag hardware and notions and fabric for the Moonwake bag that I want to make. That's arrived this morning from So Hot as well, so I'll show you that a little bit later. But for now, I'm just going to get on with getting those pockets on the front of my Kelly. Good morning. It's Sunday and I've been up about half an hour and I'm going to go for a run in a minute. So yeah, I'm still in my dressing gown. Hair is like Mad Woman from Borneo. But I thought I would show you how far I got on with my Kelly yesterday. Right, so here she is. Now I have hand basted on all the casing. Pockets are stitched on, but we'll come back to those in a minute. The zip is in alongside all the facings. The interlining is in there, and I have just pinned on the lining just to make sure everything is going to fit nicely together. The sleeves are now in. I'm really pleased with how they have gone in. I didn't need to use any easing stitches at all. I could just hand ease it in, but gosh, that was a bit of a workout getting those in. Yeah, so I'm pleased with how it's coming on. I really like how it feels with the interlining in using cotton twill. No, using brushed cotton. It just gives it a nice weight to it, and I know this is going to be really snuggly and warm. I've tried it on, it fits perfectly, which is just fantastic. So pockets, yes, I stitched the pockets on, as you can see, and I haven't done the gusseted pockets. Now, I was going to do those, but when I was looking at other pictures, I didn't like them. So I thought I'm just going to sew the pockets on standard, which is what I've done. But with hindsight and how the jacket's looking now, I don't like the pockets like that. And so what I'm going to do this morning after my run and my shower, I am going to take those pockets off before I go any further with the attaching the lining, because that's the step I'm at next. I'm going to take the pockets off and I'm going to reattach them gusseted. So that's my plan for this morning. Yeah, because I just think it's gonna give it a better finish. So, but otherwise, I'm pleased with it. I'm really glad I'm really pleased with how everything is lining up. I really took my time with the zip, so everything lines up pretty much spot on. And yeah, I'm really getting there with it. Now, I haven't done the grommets in here yet either, you will see. And that's the thing with respect to attaching the lining. I can't do that yet because the lining you attach to the outer facing first, along the front edges of the jacket. If I do that, I'm not going to have enough space to attach the grommets. And I have bought 8mm eyelets, or grommets as you call them in the States, for this jacket, which is what it recommends. But when I have had another look online, because I think I talked about yesterday that I had bought a die for the snaps, the press studs, which came yesterday, and then I didn't realise that I didn't have one to install eyelets. So I've looked at the trimming shop where I got the die from for my hand press machine, and their 8mm dies for eyelets are out of stock and I can't find them anywhere else. So what I've actually done is I've bought 10mm eyelets now and a 10mm die, because I think 2mm isn't really going to make much difference. So they're on the way. So obviously once I've got the pockets redone, I'm then at a standstill until I can get these eyelets in. The other option you can do in this pattern is you can do buttonholes if you don't want to put eyelets, but I think I'm going to wait and go for the eyelets because I just think it'll give me a better finish. So, but otherwise, yeah, I'm happy with how it's coming. I am going to do those pockets today, and then I'm going to leave it until the die comes to get the eyelets installed, and then I can get the lining in and we get the hood attached and all the finishing. Right, so hood is on, lining is in. Hopefully you can see that just there, and that side. I've still got the sleeve hems to do and the bottom hem to do, but before I can do the bottom hem, obviously I need to install the eyelets. Hood was a bit of a nightmare to install, only from this side. There is no way from the inside of fully stitching it and then turning right side out. You have to go so far, and then I ended up with like a little gap just here that I've hand stitched. It's not the neatest finish, I will admit, but it was the only way I could figure out how to do it. But all in all, I'm really pleased with how it's looking. Yeah, it's coming on really well. So I've had enough for today now. I am going to call it a day because I am going to work later, and then fingers crossed. Oh yes, pockets, look, these are now the gusseted pockets, which are looking much better. I'm really pleased that I decided to take the pockets off and redo those because I think they look much better than how I'd done them. So yeah, it's coming on really well. Good morning and happy Monday. So I didn't get a chance to finish off yesterday. Well, I didn't get a chance to finish off last week's vlog yesterday because I was working 4 till 10 in the out of hours. So yeah, it was a bit late when I got back. And yeah, so I thought I would just come on to say goodbye, and I hope you've enjoyed last week's vlog. I'm really pleased with the progress that I am making on the Kelly. I'm hoping that I will get that finished this week, but you will have to tune into next week's vlog to find out how I'm getting on. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all soon.